So I haven't been able to make a video in a while. I've been stuck in the shed, been very busy building all these parts. I'm going to go through them with everyone. So to start off, we'll go through the extended shock kits, then we'll do 40mm spacers, and we'll do the adjustable camber arms, we'll do the jack tools, and then we'll do the full 2.5-inch lift kit, and a couple of other little things after that I'm working on still. So we'll start with the smaller extended shock kit. This one opens up to 531mm, sorry, and it closes to 340mm. Now your standard Territory shocks are normally around 500 open, 510 open, as you can see. So it's not a heck of a lot longer, this one, but this kit is good for if you got raised king springs, or I say about 1 inch to 1.5 inch lift. This one's good for that, and it comes with everything needed. So new bolts, top and bottom. It comes with the sleeves to sleeve it to the right size as the Territory bolts. They're all 10.9 high tensile. Comes with all the washers and everything needed. Insulation grease. Now this one will bolt in like that. It's as simple as bolt that into the bottom, bolt that to the top, and you're ready to go. Now with the bigger kit, this shock opens up to 569mm and still closes up to 340. So it closes more than a standard Territory, and it opens a heck of a lot more than a standard Territory. Now this one, you have to space out the bottom, so it comes with the spacers needed, and again new high tensile bolts, all 10.9 Loctite, because in testing we found that the bolts on the bottom particularly like to work themselves out. So you got some medium strength Loctite, insulation grease all comes with it. So those are the two available that I've got at the moment. This one I would say is more for your like your 1.5 inch plus to, like I run 4 inches in my big Territory. So that one's more suited to that. This one's more suited for about your 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Bolted and rear spacers are probably the one thing that has had more interest than anything else I've made, just because they give you 40mm of lift, cheaper than any other way to lift it, and they bolt in, bolt out, you can change your mind. They work with any type of spring seat, so your raised or stock rubber ones, whatever. Box them all up, send them all out, all bubble wrapped up, a couple of cards, a couple of stickers. And to give you an idea how they work, so upside down cradle, you can see how the spring sits right up in here, and this is where the two nuts are that bolt up to the underside of the car, I suppose. Now what they do, just move that out of the way. So all they do, this is just a test one that I've made up, so it just slips in just like that. So your spring used to go down there, that sits in, all solid. Now the spring sits back in there, so it's raised it up out by 40mm, and then your arm comes back over like normal, just like that. Now you can still use them with your spring seats. They still sit in just like that. Spring into that. And again. So they work with factory ones or anything, like I've said. They're nice and simple. I've got lots of these made up, ready to go. So hopefully there'll be no more waiting for them, because I know people have been bugging me for quite some time to get that done. But yeah, nice and simple, not simple to make. There's a lot of a lot of hours ago into making them, believe it or not, like you would have seen at the start of this video. But that's the spacers and the adjustable camber arms. Now if you follow me, you'd know that I've tested a few different sets of these and I'd always manage to bend them. I haven't bent these exact ones, and I now add the backbone strength to them just to make sure that they can't bend ever again. And I also replaced the inner bush with a Super Pro one because the one they come with is too hard and you end up getting a lot of play. Like within the first, I found the first month or 2 months, they were just, you could grab the arm and shake it around. So change the bushes out. I now use Super Pro, weld the extra backbone on so they can't bend, and they're easy to adjust on the car. Now the alternative to this, which I can also make up, is the factory arms with Super Pro bushes all around, and it's the Super Pro adjustable bushes. So how they work is in a sleeve actually turns like that and pushes the arm in and out on the bolt. So these are an alternative to fix the rear camber from when you lift it. These ones take a little bit more to get right, so you have to make sure your wheel alignment place is aware that you have this type of bush and it needs adjusting, because they have to sort of remove the arm and find the spot, or figure out, test it, see how much camber you need fixing. And then Super Pro actually have a guide online that tells you where to stick the inner sleeve to get the right camber needed to fix the positive camber that you get when you lift them. So they're an option. They're the cheaper option, but they take a little bit more work to install. Or these are the more expensive option, but they're easy to adjust on the car. The jack tools that I've been working on. So it uses a bottle jack, because when you lift the car and you increase the travel from like shocks, you can't get the normal scissor jack to lift the car high enough. I struggle to get my workshop jack to lift the car up high enough to be able to remove the wheel. So I come up with this, just a simple bottle jack. This tool is for the rear, and it makes installing springs and spacers very easy, because how it works is it sits on the jack, goes up into the arm, that locks into the arm. I can show you on another one. So this is the first one I made. This is the one I use in my actual car, so you can see it's been put to good use. Now with your lower arm, they all have that little hole. So what that does is that goes in there, and then it can't slip out on you. And I added the rubber on these ones just to give it a bit more grip. And then, like I say, the stalk of the jack, stalk, I don't know what you want to call it, it locks into there, so nothing can slip out on you. So when you go to crank it up to fit a spring or spacer, it makes the job very easy to get that bottom bolt back in. You'll see it in some of my videos. That's been a great tool. The front was a little bit harder because I had to make it, I'll show you a quick photo. I had to make it so it would sit under the control arm, and height's the issue. That's why it took me a while to find a jack that was small enough to get under it. Now I've tested this one on my smaller Territory with the 245 65 tyres. 245 65 17, yeah, and it just gets under. The problem is, if you do get a flat, you're still gonna have to put the car up on recovery boards, something like that, just to get the wheel up enough to get this under, because as it is, you have about 10 mil of extra play. But again, it locks in the jack, it locks onto the arm so it doesn't slip out side to side. It's great if you're working on uneven ground. Of course, you'd always have to chock the car, make sure the car can't move, handbrakes on, all the safety stuff like that. Same old jacking story. But yeah, so I don't go out without these, because on the track I'm always doing beads, pushing hard, and like I say, my standard jack just doesn't have a hope in hell of getting the car high enough to change a wheel. So these have saved my backside a few times. Now the thing that everyone's been waiting for, the full 2.5 inch lift kit. So this is everything, absolutely everything needed, bolt on 2.5 inch suspension lift. So it's your raised king springs, it's your 40mm bolt-in spacers, your Nolithane standard replacement spring seats, the 2.5 inch plus sort of extended shock kit, the larger extended shock kit I should say. Then it's your adjustable camber arms for the rear. You got SZ longer forks, so longer shock forks for the front, and 25mm bolt-on spacers, and they come with the flange nuts needed to bolt them on. It comes with the extended brake lines from Safe Brakes, so that's all included. The jack tools and the rear sway bar spacers. So these are something new that I've been looking at. I haven't had a chance to do some proper testing, but they bolt to the cradle. They just drop the sway bar back down a little bit, which helps bring it back into the alignment from when you lift it where the sway bar sits. So instead of sitting on the angle and pulling on things or bending the links, this will space it back down a bit. I think I've got the bracket there. So it'll come with the new bolts and everything as well. I can put them in the photo. Yeah, bolts in like that. It's not much else I can really say about it. It's all pretty basic. Everything's there that I just said. It's taken a lot of time to get to this point of where I'm happy to say this is everything needed to do it properly. You'll still need a good wheel alignment, of course, and you might need to get the front, like upper control arms, you might need to get them re-shimmed to bring camber back properly and adjust the toe and everything. So yeah, there's still a wheel alignment, a decent wheel alignment needed after fitting all this, but you won't need any extra parts. For everything you get, it's probably cheaper than any lift kit available for a 4-wheel drive still. I haven't marked up big prices or anything like that. I just do it so people can get out there and enjoy territories like I do. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole 2.5 inch lift kit. So that's pretty much everything I've got available at the moment, ready to go. So if you're interested, there's still a little bit of a wait on the adjustable camber arms because there's quite a lot of money involved in outlay on these ones. So I've got to order more of them, and that set's sold. Once that set's sold, I've got the other sets coming, and then they'll be ready available, and then the full 2.5 inch kit will be ready to go. For pricing and details like that, check out the Facebook group or Instagram or anything like that. Or there's a Territory Offroad Facebook group, and then there's a Territory Offroad page on Facebook. So find them, send me a message, and I give you the price list and any other info that I can give you. Like, I can help out with installation if people need installation. If not, I'm more than happy to post. Posting that full kit, I'm not going to say it's going to be cheap. So yeah, be prepared for a bit of postage on that if you want it shipped. What else am I working on? I'm still trying to work on like a smaller lift kit. So at the moment you can use the 6mm slip-on spacers. I've made my own. I made them 10mm. So I've still got to make some more of that and test them out. But hopefully they'll end up cheaper than these ones and better. I'm still wanting to talk to a company about making some competition for the Super Pro seats. So they're the HQ ones, so they're still slightly different in size, but I'm hoping to make a combination of these two together with this other company and sell them for a heck of a lot cheaper, because I think the cheapest these are now is 155 bucks a set. So that's a lot of money for 10mm lift. If you want to go 20mm lift using these, it's 310 bucks. Like, that's a lot. That's why I say the bolt-in spacers are so much cheaper. What else do we work on? I'll always have them camber arms in stock. I think that's it for now. Oh, clothing, and I'm hoping to get t-shirts and stubby collars and more stickers. I got some stickers now. If people are wanting them as well, I can sell them. But yeah, I'm hoping to do some clothing, or some hats, more stubby collars, t-shirts, singlets, because it's hot up here in Queensland now. I don't think I'm going to use my jumper anymore. Can get jumpers done up for the people that are down in the nicer, cooler states of Australia or wherever, New Zealand. But yeah, so that's coming up. And then, oh, also, now that all this stuff's done, and I've spent all my time doing this, I'm going to look at making more of the patrol bull bars for the front and the swing away carriers for the rear. So that's my next project, is to make some more of them, and I'm going to make them a little bit different to the one I've actually got. I'll make them up for the 6-speed, and I want to try and do the patrol bull bar. I want to try and make a bracket so it bolts on like a normal aftermarket, like ECV or something like that, and try and make it so it bolts on like that. It's still, like all of this, I can't stress, like, I've made it for off-road use only. So if you're going to use it on road, you need to check the own laws, check engineering, all that sort of stuff. Same with the bull bars and all that sort of stuff. It's all off-road use only. So you got to check the laws and run the risk and do what you want yourself. I can't sell it as being tested because I don't have the tens of thousands of dollars to go ahead and do that. But as for testing it off-road, all this stuff has been tested, and anything that did go wrong, things like the shock bolts snapping or working themselves loose, that's why I now give the Loctite and now use newer bolts and all that. So it has been tested, it has been worked. Same with the spacers, they've changed shape a little bit to work better. Like testing things, like testing was what we found out that you needed the flange nuts for the front spacers. Testing was what got the height right. Testing is what told us that you needed extended brake lines. Testing is what come up with the jack tools. Like, yeah, so everything has been tested off-road. It's not like, and as you've seen before, show you some pictures of how I bent the arms. And yeah, so they've come about from pure testing. Yeah, hopefully I have more things coming in the future. See how we go.